What is hatching, Tug Peeps? OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 2 matchup of the GBA Season 9 versus the San Diego Chimchargers and the one and only MV. Link in the description to MV's channel. If you follow me, I'm sure you follow him. Go check him out. If you don't, drop him a wonderful subscription and do all that fun stuff. Forgot to do this last week, so I'm going to do it this week, and it's actually the same two people. I want to thank Goldoa Dragon for recording my match for me, and I would like to thank Austin, aka Garchomp the God, for helping me legitly breed my team. So thank you guys for that. Now let's take a look and see what MV brought to this matchup, so we know what we got going into team preview. He did bring Keldeo, Giratina-O, Raikou, Bronzong, Ho-Oh, and a Alolan Muck, which isn't a terrible variation from what we had anticipated that he would bring. If you watch the team builder that went up yesterday, you will have seen that and know what we're bringing. But we'll do a quick rundown of the team. We've got Bulky, Miltank, Battle Bond, Greninja, physically offensive Zeraora, Dragon Tailing, Melodic, Mega Scizor, and the Mystery Shaman. Which one did we bring this week? So let's dive right into this matchup. I hope you guys are excited, even though none of the Pick'em crew or the GBA fans put me in a position to win this match. It was unanimous pick that MV would win, which made me sad face, but honestly can't say I blame you. But analysts need to have some hope. I'm just going to lead off with Strawberry here because I know that, if anything, I need to get my rocks up. Now he has this Keldeo in, and if he decides to stay in Secret Sword or anything, I cannot risk it just going crazy. So I dropped Thunder Wave right off the bat in the event it was some super offensive variant and he just wanted to smack me in the face right off the bat. So we paralyze the incoming Bronzong. He's going to switch out, going to Shadow Realm, coincidentally, which is where Coach Z got banished to after our League War match. And I'm going to get the rock set up here. This is almost definitely his defogger, and that's why he brought it in. But he can also just drop a fat Aura Sphere, and that is going to do a ton of damage. Well over 50% right there. And we're just going to drop T-Wave. So we have two things on his team paralyzed. We are sprinkling the yellow magic all over this enemy team. And if they think happy thoughts, they'll be able to fly right into oblivion. So that was fun. We're going to switch out here, going to Mega Scizor. He's probably just going to defog, which is exactly what he does. And with the paralysis and his speed being halved, if I remember the new mechanic correctly, we'll be able to Mega Evolve and just U-turn on anything. He's going to bring out the Ho-Oh here, which makes the U-turn a very fantastic option to go for. We get ourselves out of here, get the switch initiative. That is what we did. Yep, went for the U-turn. Gonna hit that Ho-Oh for very, very little damage. But here we'll be able to go back out into Strawberry. We can take a Banded Sacred Fire from Jolly, but I don't think Adamant at this nature. So we can just sit in and crush this guy. But we're just going to Milk Drink up in the event he was to try to attack, which I thought may be an option, but he knew we couldn't kill us at that point. So we just Milk Drink up to get ourselves at a really good range. Going to set up the Stealth Rocks here. We're going to see the I'm going to say that the wrong way about 5 times this match, I'm sure. Get the paralysis that turn. Very fortunate for us. It gives us a free switch into Melodic, knowing he's going to have to defog. So we don't have the rocks up here, but I don't think he's going to stay in, especially knowing we're probably carrying the Ice Beam. He is going to switch out, and we're just going to drop Dragon Tail. He didn't bring Mega Deontay, so we can hit everything on his team with this. It is going to land. It's going to do pitiful damage because we are a minus attack nature. I believe we're bold. And it's going to switch him right back out into that Giratina. Now, he could stay in and try and hit us here. He does stay in. We go for a safe Surf just to try and get a little bit of damage. In the event maybe he were to switch back out into Bronzong, he is going to go for the Shadow Ball here. And that doesn't do a terrible ton because we are specially defensive mostly. I was really surprised that did as little as it did after how hard the Aura Sphere hit our Miltank. So he's going to bring Raikou out here. And I know from this range I can take a Thunderbolt. So I'm just going to stay in and I believe Surf because I don't want him doing this. Setting up a substitute. Because that's where I got in trouble last week with Suicune. So, yeah. I definitely didn't want that to happen again. And that is actually what he does. Like I said, I could have taken a Thunderbolt from that range. Wasn't terribly worried. He's going to keep setting up substitutes. And I'm just like, nah, brah. I'm not having this happen again 2 weeks in a row. And it just ruined me. Now, he is down to about half health. He is, I believe, trying to get us down to a point where he feels very confident that a Thunderbolt will KO us. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to have to be quite a bit farther down than this. We do survive this one, correct? We do. We are going to get the Surf off here. It isn't going to do a ton of damage, but it's going to put this thing in a... Wow, that did even less damage than I remembered. I was going to say, I think it puts it in a range where he can't substitute again. Was definitely wrong. Now, he can either just continue to substitute, which is exactly what he's going to do, predicting us to switch out, probably thinking that Zeraora was coming out here to eat a Thunderbolt, but we're just going to stay in because I got no time for substitutes being set up in our face. And the gambit pays off. He does stay in. Unfortunately, we're just going to be at a range where Thunderbolt's going to KO us. I thought maybe he would get cheeky, predict the Zeraora to come in that turn, get the Volt Absorb, and I just clicked Recover. In the event we could get back above 50% health if we were to survive one of his other moves. But here we're just going to bring in Toshington, and at this range, we can KO with, I believe, Plasma Fist was what we went to, and it was. But now, after the leftovers, it puts it in a, depending on his actual set range, Plasma Fist has a potential to KO. But he's going to bring Bronzong back out here. And we are going to Plasma Fist. This is his defensive mon for the week. Plasma Fist is going to hit and is going to do about 25%, I want to say. Not a huge chunk, but enough to where I can just Volt Switch out, which puts him right about 50%. After the leftovers, it'll be more than that. We're going to go out into Strawberry because I really don't think this has much for us. He is going to go for the Toxic here, which will slowly wear down our Strawberry, which is unfortunate, but I didn't really want to risk switching in anything else at that point. Plus, I just need to come in and get my rocks back up. He's just going to go back out into Giratina O because he needs to come into Defog. And I'm just going to set up my rocks. And at this point, there's no reason for me not to switch right back out with toxic damage slowly racking up on my Miltank. So we are going to switch out here expecting the Defog to come through again because that has been the rinse and repeat cycle. And at this point, I do kind of wish that I had my guy. Now, he does get paralyzed there. We are going to go for the knockoff, and that doesn't do 50%, which was just Holy guacamole, Batman. But that makes me think that I wasn't factoring in that I think it doesn't have an item. Because Giratina O can't. Or it has to have the orb. Now, we just do drop our Z move right here in the event he was to stay in. I don't know why he would have unless he wanted to get damage off. But looking back and thinking of it, he really needed that until my Rock Setter went down. But we were going to drop Devastating Drake, which is my favorite visual Z move. And he's going to hit Raikou right in the face, which just makes it open season for Toshington. Because if I'm not mistaken, that was his only, well, outside of Giratina O, his only electric resist. And I don't think he's going to want to be switching that in. Now at this range, I know I can take 99% of Alolan Muck variants below 50% after rocks. And it does. He just stays in. We see the Figgy Berry. He's going to Critisair. Don't think that mattered in the ultimate scheme of the match because I don't think he's going to two-shot us with anything. He was expecting Mega Scizor to come in. We were going to drop another Plasma Fist, and it just hit some super duper. He's going to knock off here, getting as much damage on me as possible, but I've already Z-moved, so it doesn't do that much. Toshington is going to get a kill here on the Alolan Muck, 1v1ing it for sure. Keldeo is going to make an appearance, and we're just going to stay in. I don't really want to sacrifice anything else at this point. He is going to crit us with that Secret Sword. Again, don't think it mattered in the long run. We're going to bring Strawberry back out here just because we want to get our rocks. Even though he is locked into Secret Sword, 99% certain that he is scarfed based off the way he is playing at this point. So, yeah, stuffing things with that. So, we really have to be careful playing around that because late game, that could really put a damper on what we want to do. Now, unfortunately, we have Thick Fat and not the Scrappy ability, or we'd just be able to stay in and drop Body Slams on him. He's going to get paralyzed here, which was the predicted defog. He's going to switch out. Excuse me. We are just going to U-turn. No, we Dark Pulse on this turn. And again, the bad thing about playing against this Keldeo with my Greninja, he does have Justified. I don't think he's going to be running close combat for us to worry about. We are just going to switch out here. L-Scissor is going to come back out because I believe we can take 2 Sacred Swords at this range. Secret Sword. I'm going to say, I probably said that wrong twice already. And that doesn't do nearly enough for us to have to worry. He's just going to go back out into Shadow Realm again. And we're just going to U-turn. Playing it safe. And the momentum game, it puts Giratina in a really good range that we can bring in a lot of things to just wham bam, thank you ma'am, and try and take him out. Now, he is going to switch out here. He's going to go right back out into Season 6. And I think we just kind of rinse and repeat this turn. Dark Pulse. We are slowly wearing him down with rocks and other things. But we are at a point that we aren't going to be able to keep switching in things to take Secret Sword. So I think he might switch it up this turn and go for something else, but he doesn't. He just goes for the Secret Sword, and that does a ton of damage. And that makes me sad. But at this point, Strawberry has met its usefulness. He's just going to Secret Sword us again. As long as we can keep rocks up on the field, we will be in a fantastic position. So we have to keep the pressure on his team, as well as the Giratina O. He's going to go out into Heat Proof here. And that's no bueno for him, as we are just going to roost to get as much health back up as possible. And I don't think there's a ton that this Bronzong can do to us unless it has the hidden power Fire. And we are just going to get a little cheeky, set up a Swords Dance here, because again, like I said, unless he has the HP Fire, which he may, we don't get to see because of the paralysis there. He is going to switch out. He's going to go out into Shadow Realm. And we are going to set up another Swords Dance. And that is going to put us in the position where a Bullet Punch will be able to kill this thing. And that means rocks are up for good. So, after Miltank went down, there was no defog hacks that prevented him directly at that point from defogging. We're just going to Bullet Punch here because it can max roll right around 50%. So I don't know if that was a mid or a low roll. Again, I don't know how much health he had. I'm going to guess he was at 51%. So he could get 2 switches into Stealth Rocks if he had to. But he is at the point where we're going to bring in Battle Bond Greninja. Yeah, what will become Battle Bond Greninja. 1 Water Shuriken will be able to take it out. It's super effective. Big Burb's going to go down. And we are going to get to see Battle Bond Greninja Week 2. And that is just fantastic. Greninja's going to come out here. He's going to bring out GBA Season 6. Now, he's Scarf. And at this point, I figure he has to go for one of 2 things. He has to try and kill us with a Secret Sword. And at that point, I can switch out into Shaman, go for the Tailwind, and win the game. Or he can Icy Wind me, which he does there, predicting the switch. But regardless, at that point, in my opinion, the safest play for me was just to stay in, because like I said, I could very comfortably Tailwind after that and beat him for the end of the game. Now at this range, he isn't going to survive a Dark Pulse, which is exactly what I go for, which is going to take Bronzong down, and he can bring out GBA Season 6, but after Rocks, he is not going to take another barrage of Water Shurikens, and Sean Connery is going to net himself some fancy kills. I believe rocking 3 this week with the Keldeo, the Bronzong, and the Ho-Oh, which was what battle bonded him up. So we're going to win versus GG, it's MV, in week 2 of the GBA. So thank you very much, Mr. MV, for that fantastic match. And finally, after so many seasons of playing him, we finally get a win. Oh, and that feels fantastic. It has been over a full season since the Pittsburgh Pirattatas have seen a victory. Now, a few things. That means all the analysts were wrong in the pick'em video, which we will address in a minute. And something I stated on Twitter at the beginning of the season, every time we win a game, we're going to take my Pittsburgh Pirates black and yellow, a new Jolly Roger for this season, out somewhere, run around with it like an idiot, and just go nuts. You guys can expect that video to come about, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, if the weather's nice enough for me to be able to get out and record it. Maybe on actual, what will be today, on Easter. Usually all my family stuff gets done during the day. It's supposed to be a nice, cool day. I may just go to Walmart and run through the garden section waving my flag like an idiot because it's all set up outside now. So we're going to do that. So again, thank you, MV, for the battle. It was a very fun battle. Fun to prep for. And go check them out. All the links will be in the description below. Don't forget to check the team builder if you hadn't, so you can see my exact spreads We did use that Tailwind Shaman that was in that video, even though it didn't make it to the match. So yeah. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for a fantastic clip to address our wonderful GBA analysts. Okay, the analysts this week who did the pick'ems were Sock, Austin, aka Garchomp the God, Melantosh, Shiny Sableye, Strompful, Zilix, Aaron, and the fans. So, I understand why everybody picked OldManTup to lose. He has never beat the battling legend MV. And even though, in my opinion, we had a fantastic team matchup, people still thought that Tup's not going to pull it out. Nobody even risked the chance. The fan vote was so decisive that at midnight, the night of the battles, the fan pick was 83-6, and 39 people had MV as a lock, which is, in my opinion, a very low total, and only 3 of the 6 that picked for me had me as their lock. You 3 are crazy, but to all of the analysts, now I would like to state that Sock believed, as he stated in the Pick'ems video, that he thought I could possibly win the match. But I have one thing to say to all the analysts, and I say this with love for Austin, because he has done so many things to help us this far in the GBA season with graphics and legit breeding of Pokemon. But this one's for all you guys and gals out there who said that OldManTup had 0% chance, or didn't have a high enough chance that OldManTup could win, to put him down for a W this week.